Good evening. Tonight on Cackle Craft, we're going to be discussing paganism. What is paganism? What is witchcraft? This is my husband John.
Hey.
He loves me. He deals with living with a pagan. He's kind of a pagan himself a little bit. But he has written a bunch of questions. We're going to discuss what exactly paganism is, and if you have any questions, please feel free once after I've posted the video to put in comments, and I will try to get to them as quickly as possible.
Well, I have some questions here that maybe you thought about these kinds of things when you think about paganism, if you don't know a lot about it. Hopefully the questions I've got here will help you get some answers for some of those same questions that you might have about paganism. And these are going to be a little bit provocative too, so get ready. Fasten your seatbelts. What do you say to people who conflate Satanism with paganism?
No, the two are totally separate. Satanists, well, there are devil worshippers who believe in the devil and worship the devil. There are Satanists who are a political group. That has nothing to do with paganism. Pagans don't believe in Satan. They don't even believe he exists. There is no Satan in paganism at all.
Okay. Because a lot of people will say that you must be practicing devil worship, and
No, absolutely not. We worship nature.
Okay. And so the pentagram that we see, that's what does that symbolize?
Well, there are two things. There's a pentacle, which is when the star is pointed upright. Mm-hmm. That's a pagan symbol. That represents the four elements: earth, air, water, fire, and the top is soul or head. And the circle represents the cycle that we all exist together. The pentagram, that's the opposite way, where one point is down, and it represents Satan, Lucifer,
whatever you want to call it.
Whatever. But pagans don't wear pentacles. We wear it with the point upright. And it's called a pentacle.
Because a lot of people don't discern the difference between the two symbols.
Yes.
And as a result, they often confuse them.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks to Hollywood, everybody has this idea that witches and witchcraft is inherently evil. I mean, we watch Wizard of Oz every year, and, we all know the Wicked Witch is, wicked. And generally the idea is that witches are basically bad people. How do you counter that?
Well, witches are not blowing up churches or synagogues in the name of their religion or faith. We don't harm children. We don't go out and put warts on people or curse animals. We are just normal people living, paying our bills. We have children that we don't eat, I promise. We love our animals. We're just working and living. We worship nature. We enjoy the company of other pagans. We do celebrate our faith in a way that I think a lot of other religions kind of mourn their faith. Pagans are happy. When we get together, we're not sitting there like this in a pew, being talked to, being made to feel bad for having a sex drive. Pagans like sex, and we're not afraid to tell you about it. That doesn't mean we're whores and we go out and are promiscuous with everybody. But no, we like sex. It's part of being human.
Okay, that's pretty good. What exactly do pagans... I mean, you kind of already said this, but I'd like to kind of expound upon it a little bit. What do pagans worship? Is there a single god or goddess? Or are there many deities? Is it a hierarchy amongst the deities?
Well, what paganism is, I'll give you a couple different definitions. It is a polytheistic religion that worships nature or the earth. We do have different deities as well. There are so many of them. There's Nyx, Hecate, Iris, there's Aradia, there's Diana. I mean, I could go on for another hour. And in some point on Cackle Craft, I will list different deities. There's Gaia. Well, it's pronounced Gaia, but I like Gaia because it sounds more feminine. I'm an eccentric. But it really depends. There's different types of pagans, just like there are different types of other religions. Like in Christianity, they're called denominations. The different, if you're Baptist, you're Catholic. With pagans, it's called traditions. You have all of us are pagan, whether we practice witchcraft, Wicca, Asatru, Celtic, Viking, Hellenic. I mean, there's so many different types of paganism. There's so many different types of tradition. So it really depends on the individual pagan. There's not one big book that says you have to do it this way. And if there is that book, get rid of it, because that's not what paganism is about. It's about following nature, following your instinct.
Okay, I think it kind of sums it up. In many monotheistic religions, men and women are supposed to know their place, oftentimes with women subordinate to men. How does paganism differ from that?
The genders are equal. I mean, you can't have man without woman. You can't have woman without man. You can't create babies without the two. In the pagan religion, it is more led by females. I think that is just because it is more appealing to women, because it's not oppressive. A lot of religions are oppressive to women. They're secondary. In paganism, we're not. Once upon a time ago, the Vikings, the savage Vikings that have such a bad reputation, rape was punishable by death in their clans. Women are valuable. Women are housemakers. We're the baby makers. We are the medicine women. We're the magicians. But then men, they're the hunters. There is a little bit of that traditional sexuality. Men hunt. I'm not saying women don't. There are plenty of pagan women that hunt. But I'm saying as far as roles go, we try to be a team. We try to be a partnership, not, oh, I got to ask my husband permission. That doesn't work in pagan society. And honestly, there are some relationships within paganism where the man is a little bit subordinate to his wife. That is not the case with me and John. I only smack him when he gets mouthy.
Which is not often.
No, but he's my equal.
This is another real sensitive question, because I think a lot of people who don't understand witchcraft have this idea that pagans spent a lot of time casting evil spells. Oh, speaking
that's my familiar Poe.
That is our black cat Poe, and he wanted to be a part of the recording tonight. All right, so here he is.
Hop down. Yes, you're beautiful.
Yes, he says, "Look at me." He's just photobombing us. This idea that pagans cast evil spells—that's what they do. They go out and they turn children into toads or whatever. Again, that's Hollywood, that's Grimm's fairy tales, that's all of our conditioning in our culture. But what kind of spells do pagans really cast? And what energy do they whip up?
It's going to be so boring compared to all those Hollywood movies where we're portrayed as doing all these fantastic or horrible things. Most of our spells are about protection or healing or safety before a trip or good for job hunting. Yeah, we do money spells, and there are some ways to do love spells properly. That would be a whole nother discussion. I don't like to talk about love spells to beginners because it's wrong to try to force somebody to love you. That's a whole nother topic. But we do spells for our balance. Honestly, our spell work is not the biggest part of what we do. We meditate. We sit outside against a tree. We ground. But our spell work is probably pretty boring compared to Hollywood.
I got one last one for you, and that is, do pagans celebrate traditional holidays? Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc.? I mean...
Well, absolutely. We had them first. I mean, almost every modern holiday has got pagan origins. Easter was Eostre or Ostera once upon a time ago. Christmas was Yule or the winter solstice. It's just Halloween. We refer to Halloween as Samhain.
Come on, Poe.
And Poe heard Halloween, so we had to jump on the table.
Move, kitty cat. Come on now.
But Samhain. It's spelled Samhain. It's pronounced Samhain. It's Halloween, and absolutely, that's the witches' New Year. It's our biggest Sabbath. That's why you see all these witchy people, these gothic people get so excited. That's Christmas for us. That is the big boy, the biggest one of all.
Speaking of big boys, there's one on the way. Come on, Poe. Come here.
Nobody wants to see.
Oh, come on, Poe. There you go. Good Poe.
But yeah. So Easter, the bunny, the eggs, the ham. Those are all pagan. Just like Christmas, the wreath, the tree, pagan. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to crush on anybody else's religion, but pretty much everything Christians do was taken from a pagan religion.
You gotta move, Poe. Out of the way. There you go. Okay. Oh, want to go inside?
Inside. Come on, let's go. Okay. It's the changing of the cats. But was that the last question?
Pretty much it. That's kind of what I was kind of curious about tonight. So I figured I would pick your brain and maybe get some answers for people who are watching this tonight. Maybe they've never considered paganism, or maybe they have some preconceived notions about paganism. Maybe this will help you to understand it a little better. Bear in mind, we're not trying to convert anybody. That's a decision you have to make on your own. That's a very personal decision, a religion, and we're more about explaining ourselves and helping people understand us a little better to try to improve communication and not necessarily convert anybody.
In the pagan faith, we don't want followers; we want leaders. We don't bow to our gods; we rise up to our gods. Yeah. It's. I've been doing this for almost 30 years now. My family members, it's a phase. She'll grow out of it. No, I haven't grown out of it. It's
Nope.
It's who I am. It's what I am. Does everybody need to do it? No. Do what you want. Do what works for you. With that said, I think we're wrapped up. In a couple weeks, we will be having Beltane, which is the fertility rites, my coven, the Coven of Nocturnal Mist. We do a big feast. We dance the maypole. We jump the Beltane fire. We have a blast. And on Cackle Craft, I will be giving information about Beltane. It's fun. Pagans are fun.
Yes, they are.
Thank you so much for watching, and you have a fantastic night.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.